I want to start off by saying that the audiobook Halo, the Age of Retribution, which is available on YouTube or via the Halo Waypoint blog, is absolutely worth a listen. It's about 25 minutes long, and it talks about the beginning moments of the Great Schism, the war that is sparked between the Covenant elite and the Covenant brutes following the death of the Prophet of Regret. Remember, you kill the Prophet of Regret in Halo 2 as the Master Chief. Remember, you jump on his chair and you punch him a bunch of times. Well, you kill the guy, right? Well, this sparks a civil war because the elite, who have lost Installation 04 in Halo 1 and have now are supposed to be the royal guard of the Prophet of Regret, have failed. And the brutes see this as an opportunity to rise up to power. This book, the Halo Age of Retribution, talks about the first minutes of that conflict. But specifically, the level I'm about to show you, and I'm going to jump over here to the level the level in Halo 2 called Uprising, is actually the gameplay footage of what the audiobook discusses. And I'll save the commentary for why that's so amazing in a moment, but let's go ahead and just start this off. This level takes place, like I said, towards the end of the game. At this point, the Master Chief has killed the Prophet. Things are now going crazy for the remaining Elite Covenant. You are playing as the Arbiter. You are now basically fighting for your life. You are fighting a war on potentially two fronts, the UNSC and against the Brutes. You beam down on this planet, and I want you to listen to this audio. It's not the best. Obviously, this is an older game, older footage. The sound levels aren't the greatest, but I'll go ahead and pause it right after that voice line, and I'm going to explain to you why that's so important, and we'll listen to that together, and then we'll discuss. So here we go. Arbiter's walking forward. Let's listen in together. Here we go.
The priests have betrayed us. The counselors.
You heard a brute yell, weaklings, and you hear another elite dying. This elite laying on the ground with his dying breath next to this energy sword near a cliff says, the brutes, they betrayed us, the counselors. So this is kind of a throwaway line in the game, other than the fact that the brutes are betraying people. And you'll notice on the radar there at the bottom of the screen, you now have a red indicator on your map indicating an enemy is around the corner. We don't really need sound for this anymore. We'll go ahead and turn around the corner with this energy sword we picked up, and we will find more dead elites. And there you have a brute standing there after just killing that elite. And this is the moment in which the Great Schism is really started. You turn the corner and you're going to fight a lot of brutes after this. Okay, I want to explain that in context because I think that's really, really important to understand as to why this story is so amazingly cool. All right, so Prophet of Regret dies. This story, this 25-minute audiobook, picks up right after that with 14 Sangheili, who are part of this high council, are sent to pay their respects to the passing of the Prophet of Regret. These warriors, not all warriors, some of them are scholars and students and holy men. They're not all the elite covenant you expect with the energy swords and the plasma blasters ready to fight. Some of them are just kind of more civilian-like, are going down to pay their respects. As they enter into this holy area in which to pay their respects, they're confronted by a bunch of brutes. You obviously just saw one there. And what transpires, obviously, is a battle. You could see the remnants in the aftermath of the battle as you're playing Halo 2 with the Arbiter walking around finding all these elites laying around dead. This audiobook will explain to you how that happened and what happened during that fight. And that is such an interesting thing that 343 did. Of all the universes, of all the NPCs, of all the things they could talk about, they did an audiobook explaining this. And what we come to find out, if you're a fan of Halo Wars, this is probably a really cool deal to you. If you're somebody who just kind of instead focused more on kind of the main version of Halo and you didn't really get into Halo Wars, this might not be as exciting to you. But you come to find out that the brutes who were involved in this are directly involved in Halo Wars, which is really, really, really cool. It was a very pleasant surprise for kind of like us deep lore nerds who want to know more about what's going on and who want to kind of like understand the story just a little bit better. But if you don't have that connection or understanding, it works well in of itself. Okay, so from a purely audiobook standpoint, the audiobook is narrated by Alex Wakeford. This guy crushes it. He's got all the distinct voices of all the races you would expect to hear. The brutes, the Geraldane, the really kind of those really like almost like ape-like creatures. He really throws his voice. It's very deep and very deep sounding, a lot of bass. We even get a little bit of the Kigyar, which is the snipers, the jackals, right? They sound very reptilian and weaselly at the end when they're talking and giving a report. They're almost hissing out their letters, almost like snakes. And then you have the more noble kind of, elites with kind of a more proper like bravado, almost like holy warriors in a sense, very proud. And he really does a great job of throwing his voice between these three different sets of characters. If you do listen to the audiobook on YouTube, you will get some snippets of different moments of kind of like the layout and the aftermath and kind of what happens during this confrontation, which does help paint a little bit of a picture. But what makes it so good is that they basically put into a audiobook short story the opening moments of that level. And that cliff is very important. And that energy sword that the Arbiter picks up has a reason behind it. It's actually mentioned in the short story and kind of the aftermath of what to expect and where this leads into. And again, leading into some of the stuff with Halo Wars is directly involved in all that. And it really doesn't seem like a significant moment when you kind of look at the whole timeline of Halo, but they made it matter. And I love that. And that's the one thing that always brings me back to Halo lore so much. The reason why sitting over there on my black chair is the Halo Encyclopedia, which I am constantly referring to and reading and finding more connections and discovery in the lore. You have the major story beats in the game, but the audiobooks, the extended universe, fill in the gaps in such a delightful, unexpected way. And that's exactly what happens here. I was not expecting this story to tie in a throwaway NPC from the beginning of a Halo 2 level, but they did it with such amazing detail and clarity that it just really kind of paints that whole picture so much better. So I cannot recommend this enough. It's called Halo 2 Uprising on, I'm sorry, not Uprising, that's the name of the level. Halo 2 Retribution on YouTube. Let me jump back over so you can go ahead and see it here. There we go. Okay. Halo 2 Age of Retribution. There you could see this brute who plays a very significant role, like I said, in Halo Wars, and some of the kind of honor guard around they're going to pay their respects. And again, you can read the whole thing here, or if you go over to YouTube, you can go ahead. I don't know why it's not letting me click right now, but if you go ahead and go to YouTube, you can click on it there. There we go. And you could watch it there. Like I said, there's some little screenshots of kind of the layout. If you just watch that gameplay footage that I showed you, this is that same cliff. It's obviously a little bit higher off the ground, but this is that exact cliff where that battle takes place. And then you can see some other little snapshots here of, I don't want to give too much away, but who this guy is and what he's talking about and what he's getting ready to do. Really well done, 343. Despite or Halo team, whatever the hell your name is now. I'll say that when you do stuff like this, you delight me as a fan. You make me invested and care about Halo again. I want to see this level of effort put into your games. I want to see this level of connectivity and this raw emotional storytelling done in every moment of the game. That's how you're going to win fans back. But from an audiobook perspective, absolutely worth a listen. I'll post the link in the description below. Check it out for yourself. It's about 25 minutes. And then go back and watch that beginning, or go back and play Halo 2. enjoy the Great Schism. It's a very, very, very fascinating time in Halo mythology, and it's a very, very fascinating subject that I love hearing about. Where were people? Where were key characters in the starting moment of a massive civil war? In this book will tell you where one character was at. Really, really well done, 343, or Halo, whatever the hell your goddamn name is. That's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side. Bye-bye.